states and the governors, and I begin to wonder, what are you bringing to the table? Is it just because you are fortunate to clinch that ticket, and so you think people are not seeing what you're doing? If you do well, people will definitely see you. And I'll take you to ABS. I'll take you to OT, Governor OT. He's in the Labour Party. Now I'm driving you from APC now down to Labour Party. We're looking at an individual performance. I don't want to look at the people, the party. We're looking at an individual performance. Yeah. And that's what I think Nigerians need to begin to look at. Not just look at the party, but let's begin to look at you seated as a person, your integrity as a person, your name as a person. It matters a lot when we begin to think that way as a leader. Leadership is not something you just speak. You earn it. Even when you enter the position, you need to begin to do things for people to say, this is my leader. You know, I'm not talking about Lagos State for now, but looking at these two states I brought as a case study, my goodness, they've impressed me as an individual. So taking you down to that question of what Patutom said, honestly, if you look at the person called Atiku, I've followed him all this. Kwankwaso with the Kwankwasinis movement, I've also followed because I like politics. I like, you know, I've been into politics for a long time. I'm talking about reporting politics. So people say, oh, you are now a politician. Well, everybody should be a politician. If you're not, you're wasting time because someone else will go and rule you. And they are ruling you the way you don't like. So you should have a knowledge of politics, at least, a knowledge. So when someone is coming to give you a bag of salt, rice or a small sachet of salt, you should, when you are taking it, you should know the punishment behind it after 4 years. Well, looking at all of these things, I do not see, and also looking at Obi, I am not seeing that measure. I am trying to, I've looked at it several times when it came up, but I can't find myself saying either of these people were going to allow, one of them is going to allow the other one take the lead. And that's going to be a big challenge, you know. The earlier statement when he was talking, he said Tinubu stayed alone. When everybody was in PDP, he decided to stay alone. He was focused. Well, staying alone, maybe that was his choice. You know, you might not stay alone. If I'm not comfortable in a party, I might just win. I might just leave. And I don't see anything wrong in leaving if I'm not comfortable. I'm trying to give an idea in a party and they are not taking it. I would just gladly leave.
So Vera, do you think the three of them coming together against the ruling party in 2027 will win them the seats?
That's what I'm saying. I don't see three of them merging.
You don't see
Honestly, I just see this as
that's tactics, political talk.
I don't see Atiku accepting Obi. I don't see Obi accepting Kwankwaso because all of them have their own ideas. All of them have their own system and agenda. So if you say the other statement and Rio and myself, we want to come together, it's a different ball game. If Obi is saying he's leaving it for Atiku, will Kwankwaso and the Kwankwasini allow Atiku to take over? Kwankwasia allows Atiku to take over. Will Atiku stoop up, you know, stay aside? Have you seen Atiku's disposition staying aside, away, for someone else to take over? He's been trying this thing, and maybe again, I don't believe in luck. I believe you're blessed, not luck. Maybe again, it's not just created to be the leader. And maybe he's created and he believes, wow, Buhari tried and finally got it. Maybe he has that mentality. Maybe he thinks, oh, someday I'm going to get it. But I know Nigerian politics, it is not easy. It will not be easy.
All right, thank you very much.
When you have the APC standing by and will they be funny?
X-Ray, what's your take on all this?
It will never happen.
Oh my word!
What's wrong with you people now? I will tell you why. If the people love you as much as you claim, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, by now you should have even ruled. And then it's gone. In 1992 you contested. In 2007 he contested. In 2011 he contested. In 2015 he did not contest. They gathered up to support Buhari. In 2019 he contested. In 2023 he contested.
He's still contesting in 2027.
And
still contesting in 2027.
He might not.
I want to wait till that time.
I don't think
But he said he has not retired. He said he's still very active. Do we ask any question of have we tried to ask question that what causes issues between Obi and Atiku? Nobody's asking. Nobody's still asking too. What were the pressure that pushed Obi away from the PDP?
Yes.
Nobody's asking.
Because Obi was not given the ticket. He will not get
Obi and Kwankwaso tried to merge.
Yes.
At the very dying minute.
all this
Kwankwaso said,
all this power
but I will be
mongers.
the president, you will be
The
the
vice.
vice. Obi said, I will be the president, you will be the vice. Now, greed is what I see in that place. Another greed. Anything that made Atiku to believe that Buhari is leaving that place and I should be the one to come inside again. And that means the power will stay in the north for 16 years.
Again.
You can't tell me a primary school we know this is greed. So power will live in the north for 16 years. No, now you can't do that. That's greed, number one greed. And that is why anybody will think like this, I will not vote for this man. This man single-handedly bought PDP. Imagine the likes of Tambowa cannot even contest. Wike was there, he came second. There are people, are you telling me that there are not persons in PDP that can actually take that ticket in the south? But he refuses. And now, what Tinubu did for 20 years, you want to do it for 4 years now, Beans? No. Tinubu waited and he was taking those states one after the other to Oyo, to Ondo, to Kano, to Kaduna, until he was able to gather. Yet it did not feel like at a point, okay, now I can contest. So when the AD, when he relaxed from the AD and he had his AC, the person he used was the pioneer Oga of EFCC, Nuru Ribadu. You go. Nuri had about 2.something million votes that year. After that time, Atiku himself contested under this man. So when our elderly statesman called Tinubu political guru, don't worry, you can't take it from him. He's way smarter than any politician in Nigeria.
But are you feeling that now?
If he,
are you feeling his impact now?
Like I said it's 50-50. The other time when we had conversation.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
So now saying because you want to, it's so obvious, it's visible to, I don't want to say the blind because it's like insult on them, so I won't use that terms. But however, it's obvious that these three men are now desperate. Obi cannot step down for anybody. Obi believe they stole his mandate.
Okay.
Obi believe he won this last election.
Okay.
And Obi believe if he comes back, I will only tell Obi one thing, as a young man that I am, that no child was given birth to and they start working on that day.
Okay.
They will crawl first.
But he was a governor before, so in anything wrong if he wants to take power,
now I will tell you,
he was a governor before.
Tinubu was a governor before.
Yes.
Obi was a governor not under PDP, not under APC.
I know.
Obi was a governor
We
under
are looking at
APGA.
an individual.
Yes, I know. Tinubu was an individual. When he
Yes.
left AD, he did not even leave. AD is like elder brother to AC.
Of course, I like the fact that Tinubu also fought. So is there anything wrong, be fighting for this?
I'm not saying, but see,
okay.
if you want to live in a mansion, then you have to build your house from foundation, right? Now, Obi left from the APGA, Obi went to PDP. Obi did not know how PDP was birthed now. He did not know. He was not there.
But we know where it started from.
Sometimes you need to
want to vote before you become the governor.
Sometimes, no. Sometimes you need to have, you can't get to a place where what's it called? There are a lot of people on the queue before that wants to have that ticket. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. If he has stayed in APGA and he had tried to win Enugu, try with his track record to win Imo, with his track record to win all the states in the east, just like the way he won the election in the east this time, move down to the south, try to win Edo, try to win this, gradually, people will start to see something in him. But most of them, once they finish, they will leave. The immediate former governor of Anambra wanted to leave the state, leave the country, the same day he handed over power. Thank God for EFCC that arrested him at Muritala International Airport. So when after they've gathered some money and they feel like, I still have the influence, I can do this because Nigeria is suffering. Sometimes I believe our politicians want to take advantage of our vulnerability. Because they say, Buhari don't suffer, then now let me go as this. Nobody is a saint among all of them. Yeah. They all have records that are not interesting. You understand? So you now just say, let's merge together. Have you considered Atiku's interest? Have you considered Kwankwaso's interest? Or they've all packed themselves to Shango to go and cost that we want to give this person this one and nobody should go against it. Other than you can't do it, they're humans. They will scatter.
No, Okija Shrine.
Okija Shrine. They should go and bite something.
All right. You see, for me, it's never going to work as well. This will not work. Because, do you know why? Let's now imagine, let's quickly do something here. Who is going to become the president and the vice president? Will Obi come out as the presidential candidate and Atiku Abubakar will come out as the vice president?
He can't do it.
That's what I said.
One person will come out as chief of staff.
So we never. And you know what? If we begin to put the interest of the people, we shouldn't be. This is greed. If we begin to put the interest of the people, I think they can make it work.
No, you see, for now we're talking about individual.
Yes.
Now with Obi now one of the Obi when they agree, Obi when they give shishi with their toxic followers, with his toxic followers, we then now allow Obi.
Wrong word. Everybody has right to follow whoever they want to follow.
No, it's not wrong word. Vera.
Allow.
Please. Toxic is not a wrong word, please.
All of them are saying.
No, they're not the same. You see, during the last election, we saw something different. Because the Gen Zs are now involved in politics. We started seeing curse. It got to a point I could not comment on social media because I don't want them to cost me and my entire family. We saw this during the last election.
Yeah,
we saw what we've never seen before.
I'm telling you.
No, Vera, I'm telling you.
I was part of the election that went round on the island. If you follow that way, that's why I tell people, individuals, I said individual candidacy will help us. Because if you follow the way we are going right now, we will begin to do it the wrong way. People just follow massively. What my leader says I should do, I start doing ignorantly. You begin to cause mayhem. We're not going to get it right. What we need to do is sensitize the people to look at a person and say, this one can help you.
Who do you want to sensitize? The Obi followers?
Not only Obi, all the parties. We saw what happened across board.
I'm telling you, the Obi followers during the last election, I'm telling you, it's something we've never seen before in the history of election in Nigeria. I can say it categorically because I was on social media. I went out for election monitoring. I did all that during the last election. But I'm telling you, Obi followers, they are toxic people. Go ahead. I want you to comment about them. Okay, so now, what I'm saying now is with his toxic followers, will Obi now go and tell them that I want to become the vice president?
They will stone him.
What are you telling me?
Daddy, I agree with you.
Will Atiku says he wants to be vice. Wait, excuse me. Let's turn the table the other side. If this had turned the other side, will the president right now, let's assume he's amongst the merger, will the president accept to be?
He had a record of patience.
All of them have a record
This table is supposed to be
neutral. The other way, well, the president.
Even you can see on this table, you just can't go, please. On this table, we don't even cannot agree. This is exactly what is going to happen with the merger.
There's no merger.
Wait. Let me make my point.
Don't you see all of them?
Let me make my point.
And even the president, you
For
said something about
something
the president the other
that
time.
is so obvious. Listen. For something that is so obvious, for something that you know is so obvious, my sister Vera is now trying to. You are free to air your opinion.
Not telling. Everybody's free.
But the way you have aired your opinion, do you see how you are doing topsy-turvy here?
It's not topsy. I'm saying my mind. We all have you. No. I'm not. I'm saying the way.
Vera.
You have seen.
I need you to correct that.
As people who are supposed to be advising these people, you can see what is happening here. Exactly. Let me finish. Exactly what is going to happen there. A man kept his hand the way you have just kept the hands.
It won't work.
It can't never work.
He was more than 99% eligible to have contested over the years. But his political strategy remains unbeaten. Then political strategy made him win the 2023 elections We are not thinking of coming together and then you can see the kind of thing.
You can see how many people that want to come
Let
together.
him finish so that I can attend.
No,
Let him
please.
finish. No, I want you to finish. I want to get it right. We need to get each other right.
Don't let us make this personal.
It's not personal.
My point is that she was making a point about toxicity.
Yes.
And you are saying no. I'm shocked. I'm shocked you said that.
I will give you my reasons. Just finish. Just finish.
Okay.
Yes.
Your opinion. Your opinion. And then later on, you now try to doubt it and say all of them. Well, of course, all of them now got into the Rofo fight. But the point was simple. I have seen highly respected people in this country who tried to interject. They were abused, heavily abused.
Cost.
Come on, no.
Well, guys, an example.
Now,
telling you.
is the reason why I said those who are in the Labour Party, maybe some of the other parties who are younger and who are not happy with what is happening now will make an attempt to stone Peter Obi. So what is Peter Obi going to do? Are we not then saying like Bola Tinubu, he will think of himself beyond 2027? Is he capable of doing that? Which of them is capable of going through the painful course that Bola Tinubu went? In fact, as at the time when it was going to be Ebilokon, take it or leave it, his party was not even supporting.
Yes, that's true.
But he stood ramrod, and one of the things that kept on saying that I'm not, my sister was not saying that if you are not happy with the party, you can change the party because you don't have ideology. None of them has ideology. It is the greed. It has to be my turn, all. Everything now just scattered. I am saying a day is long enough in politics. Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, and Atiku, like Paul, on his way to Damascus, may decide to see light and see the kind of light that the Jagaban saw. You know, again, you look at it, give it to this man and step down your ambition for down, starting with Atiku. And I can understand why people say it's not going to happen. On this table, assuming that they say we are constituent members to go and advise, this is how we are going to be arguing and saying things. And while we are arguing, you know what is not going to happen? Bola Tinubu will just coast to victory.
Okay.
That's another strategy.
Okay, let me say something here. We do not argue. When you're talking, you're giving your point. You're giving your thoughts to a matter. It's not arguing over. No. When I started talking, I said, that merger, I don't see it working. We've looked at a lot of antecedents of these people. I try to be truthful to myself. I don't see this happening. But when you use the word toxic, I saw things in this election, and that's why I begin to tell myself and tell people around me, let's look at individual candidacy. This idea of condemning this, you asked a question, and I told you, what would you say so far about this government? And I said, well, I can't say anything yet, but what he did recently, yesterday, I think I like what he did by reducing it. It means that there's no bias. I'm not being biased. It means I'm being truthful to myself. If someone is doing the right thing, I don't want to know what party it is. That's why I talked about Borno State Governor. I don't want to know, and I also talked about
the merger.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's what I'm saying. That's what led to it. And I don't want to talk about. I also talked about the OT, the other governor. We should begin to look at individual. If you're doing this right, you're doing it right. If he's not doing it wrong, if you're doing it wrong, we've been on this set when we said the president didn't do right when they brought the budget. That doesn't mean that you understand that you don't like the president. If it's something is not working, it's not working. And that will not mean that when things are not working, that does not mean that when things are not working, you not say because I'm a bit or
don't turn this into my point is, and I said you be very careful. I don't want us to now get into this and that. Certain things happen in 2023 elections, and it's only the blind